Whenever I'm in Hollywood, I always see they have these billboards everywhere encouraging people to get an HIV test, which is like, it's a good thing to do, but then I saw this clinic near where I live, and their latest promotion says, come in for an HIV test and be entered to win a car. I feel like that's just setting up an emotional roller coaster ride that nobody wants to go on. Like you go in there and then a week later you're sitting at home and the phone rings. It's like, hey, remember when you got an AIDS test and entered to win a car? Well, I have some good news and some bad news. See, a lot of the girls here tonight brought their purses. I think it's weird that girls bring a purse with them everywhere they go and all guys have is a wallet. Like, why do women need something 10 times bigger to carry 30% less money? I heard that the economy is getting better, though. The unemployment rate just hit an 8-year low. People are finally getting back to work, which sounds like a good thing at first, but as far as I can tell, it's just because everyone became an Uber driver. Like, Obama wants you to think this country is creating jobs, but it's not. This country created one job, which is Uber driver, and then we all signed up for it. So now our entire economy is based on the fact that we take turns giving each other a ride to the airport in exchange for the same $30. Because everyone, no matter what they want to do, their fallback plan is to become an Uber driver. Which is weird, because when I was in philosophy class studying Nietzsche, they taught us that an Uberman was someone who could accomplish anything. But in the real world, it turns out an Uberman is someone who's failed at everything. And now Uber is getting so popular it's putting taxi drivers out of business, which makes it the only industry where entitled white hipsters are taking jobs from honest, hardworking, illegal immigrants. I was driving the other day, I saw a pro-life bumper sticker. It said, babies get hiccups even before they're born. Which is true, and I do not support abortion, but I bet a visit to the clinic would scare those hiccups away. I like that one because it's a pro-life joke that offends pro-life people. Just alienates everybody. No, but I am pro-life because I'm pretty conservative and religious. I know religion's on the decline in this country, but I hear stories all the time that reaffirm my faith in God. Like I read about this bus driver who got mugged and they shot him, but his life was saved because the bullets were stopped by a Bible in his pocket. I mean, that is a miracle, that God blessed that man with ridiculous Bible-sized pockets. Being conservative isn't bad. Like, people call conservatives bigots all the time. Like, every election cycle, that's liberal strategies to say Republicans are bigots. But it doesn't even make sense anymore. Like, how can they still say Republicans are racist when one of our most popular candidates is African American? And how can they still say Republicans are sexist when one of our most popular candidates is a woman? And how can they still say Republicans hate immigrants when 2 of our most popular candidates were raised by immigrants? It's just unfortunate that our most popular candidate is a racist sexist who hates immigrants. I've done stand-up in more conservative areas before. I once did a show in Anchorage, Alaska, which is a beautiful city, but they're like a lot more conservative than most big cities. Like most big cities have gay neighborhoods. Like in LA, we have West Hollywood. In New York, they have an area called Chelsea. Chicago has Boys Town. San Francisco has San Francisco. But Anchorage isn't like that. Like the gay area of Anchorage is just called Steve's house. And Steve is saving up to move to San Francisco. I do love traveling. Over the summer, I took a road trip in New Zealand, which was amazing, but it's kind of dangerous because the roads there are very narrow and windy, plus there's sheep on the loose everywhere. So you come around a turn and you're like, oh my gosh, there's 50 sheep in the road. No, 51. 52, and then you fall asleep and crash. I was thinking of going to Africa next summer. That's a place I've always wanted to go. I was looking at a map. Do you guys know that in Africa, they put the country with the whitest name right next to the country with the blackest name? This is true. There's a country whose name is spelled Niger. And then right next to it is a country named Chad. I do like traveling, but there are some trips I would not take. Like, have you guys heard of the Mars One project? This is real. There's a private company that wants to send people to Mars, and anyone is allowed to sign up for it. And their plan is they're going to narrow it down to 5 people, put them on a spaceship the size of a van, and send it to Mars. And because it's so far away, it's going to take them over a year of traveling through space before they get there. And they're just going to leave them on the planet until they die, like they're never coming back. And they got 100,000 people who signed up to do this. Which sounds crazy to me, like I couldn't stand a 2-year trip to Mars. I can't even stand 30 seconds to Mars. Some of you like that, and some of you are wondering if that's the only punchline to that whole setup. No, I saw that because people from all over the world were signing up for this Mars mission. They said on the news that there were Islamic leaders in the Middle East who heard about it, and they decided that leaving the Earth forever is against the Islamic faith, so they're telling Muslims not to travel to Mars, which ironically makes Mars the safest place you can travel right now. Oh, I know, some people don't like that joke because it's not politically correct. It's just actually correct. They use me on air on Ellen sometimes. I've only ever been recognized in public once, but it really let me know like where I fall on the fame scale. Because I was out at a bar and this girl comes up to me and she goes, "Oh my gosh, you're on Ellen, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "I love that show. Can I get a picture with you?" So I said, "Sure." And she stood next to me and handed me her phone. And I tried to get a selfie of us, but nothing happened. And I said, "Oh, it says your memory is full. You'll have to delete a picture to make room." And she takes her phone and she goes, "Nah." And walks away. All right, thanks.